Hi, and congratulations on your 2023 Nissan Kicks SV. This is a great little vehicle, amazing on gas, some amazing features in it, and it's a nice little drive. We're going to go over all the features that you get with this thing because it is truly a great vehicle and that's why you bought it, but let's make sure that you understand everything that you got. At the end, if you still have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can call, text, email, or stop into a Regan's Nissan on Baker Drive in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Let's go through everything and see what you got. All right, we're going to start right here at the infotainment system. It is a beautiful 8-inch full-color touchscreen display. Very easy to operate. And you can see along the bottom there, we've got our audio options. One of those options is satellite radio, which does come free for the first 3 months. After that, if you do want it, you just need to give them a call and subscribe. It will revert back to channel 1, which is the preview channel, and there is a toll-free number there to do so. As you can see, there are also 36 presets, and you can mix those between AM, FM, and satellite radio. Now, to set up a phone, you're just going to go into settings, then you're going to hit connections. From there, you're going to hit add new. Up on the screen, you're going to see a message pop up, and then on your phone, in the settings under Bluetooth, you're going to look for My Kicks. Once that pops up there, you're going to go in and tap on it. A number will pop up on the screen here. The same number should pop up on your phone. Press confirm and then press allow once if you're on an Apple phone or twice if you're on an Android phone. Now also, if you're on an Android phone and you have a lock screen on your phone, you may need to go back out to the main settings page, down to lock screen, into smart lock, and add a trusted device and add My Kicks. And I do apologize for the glare. It is a very sunny day here, which is beautiful to see. Once you're all done here, fastest way back out is just hit the audio button. That'll take you right back out here. Our backup camera is going to show up automatically, which we can see there. Really nice and easy to see. Gives you a good view there. Now, as you're backing up, once whatever is behind you gets within these green hash marks here, it will start to beep at you, and the closer you get to these red ones, the faster the beep will get. Once you get right down near those red ones, if you're still backing up, it is going to fully apply the brakes for you. That is your rear sonar and rear emergency braking, as we will see here. It works at 15 kilometers an hour or less. So my foot is hovering over the brake. And you can hear it just kicked in there. Sounds horrible when it does so, but it works remarkably well. It means no contact with anything. Down below here is our climate control, and with this, typically what I recommend for anybody is set a temperature that you're comfortable with. Press the auto button, you never have to worry about it. It will automatically determine where your airflow is going to go and what your fan speed is, which can be adjusted with the dial here. It will get you up or down to that temperature as fast as possible and then do what it needs to maintain it. You can manually adjust where your airflow is going to go here or your fan speed here, and if I hit either one, it turns auto back off. So we're going to put that back on. Heated seats, as we can see, are right here, and you do have a heated steering wheel there as well, which is awesome. Down below is our parking brake. So with this, I'm just going to lift up. Light turns red, and I can see right up here on the dash that it's there as well. To turn this off, my foot does need to be on the brake, and I push down. That will disengage it. Now for auto hold, you do need to be buckled up in order for this to work. We're going to turn this on. So it's on. I'm going to put us in drive, and right down below here I can see a green circle with an A and the word hold. Now that it's green, I can take my foot off the brake. So I'm in drive, no foot on the brake, and I'm not moving. As I touch the gas, I start to move. That becomes white. And we're going to fully apply the brake. It turns green again. Now that that's green, when I put it in park, it does automatically engage the parking brake. So that's a neat little feature with the auto hold and the way that that works. It's great for if you're in a long lineup in the drive-through, maybe you're at a red light that's taking a long time, or just in construction. As we move up to the steering wheel, we're going to see a few settings here. So we've got our Bluetooth hands-free right here. My phone is going to answer, call, and hang up. My voice here is going to be for outbound calls. Also with this, what's going to happen is if you've got an Apple phone, it will allow you to access Siri if you press and hold it, or it'll access Hey Google if you've got an Android phone. This button is going to turn on my cruise, and then it is adaptive cruise, so I can set the distance right here, at which point it will slow down. So adaptive cruise, the way that's going to work, you'll have 1, 2, and 3 car lengths plus safe distance, and whatever you set it for, it is that distance away from the vehicle behind you. So if you're traveling along and the car in front of you is going slower than you are, there's no opportunity to pass. Once you get within that preset distance, it will slow you down to match the speed of the vehicle in front of you. And just to give you an idea, 1 car length plus safe distance at 100 kilometers per hour here in Canada is approximately 2.5 car lengths. The faster you go, the more distance there will be between you and that vehicle. The slower you are, the closer you will be to it. Once you've got your cruise on, you can just set, resume, you can cancel or tap the brake. If you're already set, you can decrease the speed by tapping that, or you can increase there. On the other side of our wheel, we do have our volume for the radio. Makes it really easy to operate your radio from here. Also, my 2 arrows here are going to go through the presets on my radio. So if I tap that to the right, you can see it's heading over. If I tap it to the left, it goes back. All the while, it does show you right up here on the dash. My OK button with the arrows around it is going to be to change the driver's screen up in front of me. So I'm going to come off of focusing here, and I'm going to move up front. Anytime that I do say I'm pressing the OK button, it's just this. It's either going to be left and right or up and down. So our home screen does look like this. You have a digital tachometer and your distance to empty. And right in the center there, you've got, it shows that you've got your park on, as well as the cruise is currently on. And those are visuals to go with your safety features, which we'll get into in a moment. Now, if I hit the right arrow, I get my radio info. And from here, if I press the OK button, I can see it changes the source of my audio. It goes through the different options that I've got. With that said, if I do have the phone hooked up to Bluetooth or Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, those become options as well. The next screen over to the right is my average fuel economy, which is running very high, and we're going to reset that right now. We'll see why it's running so high in just a second. And then our next screen to the right, we can see we've got 4 dots here. So this is the other preferred screen for most people. It is a digital speedometer with your radio info below it. If I tap down on the arrow, because there are dots, I can see my fuel economy was running so high because in 6 hours and 23 minutes, it's only gone 140.5 kilometers. So I'm going to press OK, and I'm going to reset everything. This way it all starts from right now. If I tap down again, I will get my adaptive cruise, and then once more takes me to my driving aids, and that's just the visuals for my safety features. You do have Nissan's entire safety suite, which is referred to as Safety Shield 360. With Safety Shield 360, you have automatic emergency braking with forward collision warning in the front. Forward collision warning is something you will experience. Basically what will happen is you'll be driving down the road and the car ahead of you is going to be turning into a parking lot or a driveway. They'll be doing about 5 to 10 kilometers an hour around that turn as you're doing 50 kilometers an hour approaching them. You know that they're going to be out of the way, so you're not slowing down, but when the radar in the front of this gets within range, it will beep at you inside and flash a warning up here just to let you know that, hey, there is a risk of a collision unless something changes. Once they round that turn, nothing else happens. You carry on as if it never happened. Now, if you're driving along, the car in front of you slams on the brakes, again, if you're within range, it will beep at you and flash that warning, but if your foot doesn't get to the brake fast enough, it will start to apply the brakes to help avoid or minimize an oncoming collision. The moment that your foot is on the brake, you are in total control of the vehicle. That system shuts off. Pedestrian detection works the exact same way, but faster, and the only reason it works faster is the car in front of you that hit the brakes still has some forward momentum, while the person who walked out in front of you does not, and we're hoping not to give them any forward momentum. Now, using the camera up in the windshield here is for your lane departure warning. Now, if you start to drift out of your lane, whichever side you're drifting on, the lines on the screen here will flash, and if that's back over to our center area over there, it's the same thing. But with that, what's going to happen is you'll start to drift out of your lane doing 60 kilometers an hour or higher. and your steering wheel is going to vibrate. It's almost like hitting the rumble strips on the side of the road. If you signal beforehand, it will not do anything because it knows you are intentionally coming out of your lane. Blind spot indicators are on the inside of the vehicle. On each side, there is a little LED indicator up next to the mirror that will light up and stay lit up a dull orange as long as part of a vehicle is in your blind spot. While that is lit up, so if my driver's side is lit up and while it's lit up I signal to go left, that's going to start to flash and it will beep at me inside the vehicle here. You also have rear cross traffic detection for when you're backing out of a parking spot. If there's anything coming at you from either side within approximately 2 car lengths inside the vehicle, it will beep. And whichever side that vehicle is approaching you from, the blind spot indicator on that side of the vehicle will be flashing to let you know, hey, you've got something coming at you from this side. We already talked about the rear sonar and rear emergency braking, and the last thing that we're going to do is I'm going to cover up our light sensor to force our headlights on here. We can see down below my headlights are now on. At nighttime, if I take my signal indicator and move it forward to the high beam position, I now see that I have a little bullet with an A. That means that my high beams are fully automatic at that point. So again, that camera in the windshield is going to be utilized to look for headlights and tail lights. And if it sees either one, then the high beams will automatically turn down. If it doesn't see them, they'll come right back up. And that blue light indicator that you're used to will turn on and off every time that the high beams are up and down. That way you do know what's going on. So we're gonna turn the lights back out. That is your Safety Shield 360. Our last screen over is our settings. Don't be afraid to play with this. There is a factory reset at the bottom if need be, but we're going to go through because I do make a couple of changes to this. First thing that we want to do is go into driver assistance to make sure everything is fully turned on for any new customer. The emergency braking is always on. Parking aids is your rear sonar and rear cross traffic, so we're going to leave those on as well. Just a note that if you ever do put a hitch on this for a bike rack or anything like that, you will need to go in and disable the rear emergency braking and rear sonar anytime that that's going to be on there. And I do have a separate video on how to do that on my channel. We're going to customize our display here. And we see there are 4 that are turned on, but we're going to go down. I'm going to turn the tire pressure on because there is a tire pressure monitoring system. With this screen, once you start to drive, it will show you the tire pressure for each wheel individually while you're driving. If you ever get a low tire, no matter what screen you're on, it will pop up with a warning and tell you low tire pressure and what tire is low. From there, when you pull into an air pump, no matter where it's at, just leave your kicks running, grab the hose and go to the tire it says needs air and start putting air in. As long as your kicks is running while you do this, once you get up to the proper pressure, the horn will beep once to tell you to stop. If you overfill the tire, so you keep going for some reason or you went to the wrong tire, there is an upper limit, at which point it will beep 3 times in a row. Should that happen, please stop putting air in the tire and start letting some back out. And as you let some air back out, once it gets back down to the correct pressure, again, the horn will beep once to tell you to stop. Now you can turn on the coolant temperature to see what that looks like, as well as the chassis control. I'm going to leave those off for right now as they're not as important for most drivers as some of these other things are. So we're going to back out of here. I'm going to go into vehicle settings and down to locking. Now by default, as you can see, Nissan vehicles will unlock the doors when the vehicle gets turned off, but the preferred method for most people is when they shift into park to have it unlocked. So we're going to set that. And we're going to come back out and go into wipers, and we are going to turn on speed dependent. And all this means is that for your intermittent wipers, when they are speed dependent, if you're driving around town and it's drizzling out a little bit and you've got your intermittent wipers on, so it's got that time delay, as you loop out to the highway where the speeds are higher, that delay will automatically shorten a little bit without you having to touch anything. We're going to come back out. I want to make sure that my maintenance for the oil and filter is set at 8,000 kilometers because your maintenance schedule is every 6 months or 8,000 kilometers, whichever hits first. And that's it. That's all I ever touch on the settings screen. Your clock can actually be done over here through the settings and then up on clock and then set clock manually. and then everything is very easily accessible right there. And again, once you're done, press the audio button to jump back out. All right, a couple last things here. The first one is our key fob. Now, because it is a fob, there is a battery inside of this. That battery is usually good for 2 to 4 years, as long as you don't have it sitting too close to the vehicle when the vehicle is parked. If the key fob in your house or apartment or wherever it's at is too close to the vehicle, it will have constant communication and burn through that key fob battery a little bit faster. The very first indication that your battery is starting to get low is you'll get into your vehicle, put your foot on the brake and press the button, and up here it will pop up and say incorrect key ID. Time to think about switching the battery in this. Sometimes we get busy though and we don't get to switch it right away, and if that should happen, eventually the battery will die. When the battery dies, in order to get into your vehicle, just flip the switch over and pull that out. There is a key for the driver's side door. Once you get in, with your foot on the brake, use the key fob to push your start button. It will still start even though the fob is dead. Now to switch your battery out, pop the key, and then down below here, you've got 2 little areas there that you can get a little flathead into. Give it a little twist and this will pop open. The battery inside is just a button battery. It looks very much like a watch battery, but bigger. They're about $6 or $7. Please don't buy the dollar store batteries, as they only tend to last 3 or 4 months. Spend the money on a good one, or you can take it into your nearest Nissan dealership and they'll do it all up for you for an extra $1 or $2. Now, on your key fob, you do have a panic button on the bottom here. You've also got your unlock, lock, and then to work your remote start, you're going to press lock, lock, and press and hold this top button for 5 full seconds, and it will remote start your vehicle from up to 200 feet away. From there, it's going to run for up to 10 minutes. If you do not get in within 10 minutes, it will turn your vehicle back off. If around 8 or 9 minutes you know that you're not making it out in time, do the exact same thing. So lock, lock, press and hold the top button. It will add an additional 10 minutes to the count from wherever you're at in the count. So if you try and do it right away, so I've remote started, I'm going to do it again to add 10 minutes. I'm going to get a grand total of 11 minutes. But if around that 8 or 9 minute mark I do it again, I'll have a grand total of 18 to 19 minutes. If you decide you're not going anywhere, press and hold the top button for 2 seconds. It will turn it back off. You can remote start twice without ever getting in, or once with one extension without ever getting in. But after either one of those sequences, in order to make it work again, you will need to get in, turn the vehicle on, and get up to 30 kilometers an hour to reset that to be able to do so. Now with the SV, you do get the intelligent key system with that, so that means that there are buttons on each of the front handles and one on the hatch as well, that as long as I have the key fob on me and close by, one push, and I hear a single beep, unlocks just the door that I'm at. A second push is another single beep. Now means that the entire vehicle is unlocked. Once everybody gets out and the doors are all shut, 2 beeps means that the whole thing is locked. And like I said, you can do that as long as the key is on you. So it can be anywhere on you as long as it's within 3 feet. Congratulations again on your 2023 Nissan Kicks SV. This is a great little vehicle. Both the SV and the S are pretty much identical in features. Couple aesthetics in the difference on the SV Special Edition. But we know that you love your vehicle. It's why you got it. If you still have any questions after going through this, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can call, text, email, or stop into O'Regan's Nissan at 60 Baker Drive in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. All of my contact info will be on the screen right at the end, and I look forward to seeing you when you're in for your regular maintenance. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you soon.